Hello and a very warm welcome and good morning to the ICANIWILL Invitational live and direct on Padel Alto again inside the Scandinavia Expo for the finals day here. A couple of splendid finals that we should have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies first, and why not? It always should be the women's final first, and it is an all Spanish affair to start off proceedings, of course. Bia Gonzalez pairing up once again with Lucia Sainz up against Ari Sanchez, and Paula Josemaria coming your way very shortly from now. It is a mouth-watering prospect, an excellent day of paddle that we had yesterday. 6 matches we got through. And it has come down to this as well. The ladies' final first, followed by the men's final today with Fernando Belasteguín again pairing up for the second time in 24 hours with Sanyo Gutierrez up against Federico Chingotto and Juan Tello. All 4 players from Argentina respectively. So the scene is set once again. Just about everything has been laid on to perfection for the players here to showcase their paddle skills for all of us to see. It's a wonderful setup, and a lot of credit needs to be given there, of course, to Padel Alto as well, and everybody concerned as well that to get this event up and underway before the World Paddle Tour starts in earnest this time next week in Madrid, of course, and all 8 players that we'll witness today, they'll be in action as well in Madrid. So here are the stats for some of the players. You see Sainz, Bia Gonzalez, 36 years of age and 20 years of age respectively. One of the hottest prospects on the women's side, Gonzalez. Couldn't wish to have a more experienced partner beside her. Sainz, been there, seen it, done it. And with that in mind, it should be a wonderful match up against Sanchez and Josemaria. So once again, it is myself, Errol Creary, alongside Mari Andrini inside the commentary position for this. Mari, we saw some wonderful paddle today. Expect the levels to go up a notch or 2 today, especially with the 8 players that we have in store.
Absolutely. Welcome everybody, welcome my great partner already, a commentator, Mr. Errol. It's been a pleasure working alongside you, and I think that the day has come, you know. I mean, the finals that everyone wants to watch. These four ladies and the 4 men there who are going to fight in these 2 finals, I think is like what everyone is expecting, because the only pair actually that's been playing together for a little bit longer is Tello and Chingotto, the Argentinian pair, but all of the rest, they haven't played together before. And so now it's like, you know, Bea Gonzalez and Lucia Sainz playing against Paula Josemaria and Ari Sanchez. This match is going to be very interesting for the whole season then in the World Padel Tour. And for sure, all the other players in the World Padel Tour, the ladies, the girls, are watching this match for sure to see how they tactically play the sport of paddle together.
Well, they played some wonderful paddle yesterday, both of these pairings, for the right to be in the final yesterday. With regards to Gonzalez and Sainz, 6-2-6 love, smooth sailing, a simplistic match versus Arvidsson and Soleimani yesterday. Didn't drop serve spread across those 2 sets and broke serve 3 times in both sets. Sanchez and Josemaria as well. Slightly more turbulence to get through, but straight set 6-4, 6-4 versus Brito and Traviesa. Broke in game 1 in the first set, were broken twice in the second set, incidentally, once for both players, but other than that, they looked very, very solid in just about every aspect of their game. So with that in mind, who would you say were the slight favourites perhaps to go ahead and get the victory here today? It's a tough one because they're all evenly matched, Marvy, but who perhaps might just have the edge?
Well, here we have there is one player who makes a little difference when she is like you know, on fire, and that's Paula Josemaria, the lefty player. That, you know, she's not as steady perhaps as her cross-court opponent Lucia Sainz, but when she is on fire, I mean, when she's like 100%, it's very hard to play against her because she's very unpredictable, she's very powerful, and that's why they call her Dynamite, the Dinamita Josemaria. Paula is And also because she's a lefty, she can cover the middle with the forehand side, and so she can be very powerful as well. So I think the match will depend a little bit on her. If she goes for some unforced errors that sometimes she does, then it will be perhaps a little bit better for Bea Gonzalez and Lucia Sainz. But if she's playing 100%, then it will be a little bit tougher and could be very even match.
Just 19 years of age, Bea Gonzalez. There's a lot that's expected of her. She's world ranked 12 already. A lot of weight on her shoulders. What makes her so special as a player, so young already on the tour? What does she bring to the tour at that age?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Errol. I think that I know Bea for a long time already. I met her for the first time when she was like 12 or 13 years old. She was already a good player, and then she was competing the World Championships for Spain. You can imagine that in Spain there are millions of players, and I would say 100,000 kids and juniors playing all around, and she was always selected to play for Spain. And actually she won the World Champs 2 years ago when she was 17 as well. And yeah, you know, when you compete against adults as well in different tournaments around the Spain, and that makes you, to become a little bit mature. And this sport, if you play, you compete. Let's say when she was 15 or 16, she was perhaps competing with other girls or other men as well in mixed doubles, a little bit more adults, and you can grow quicker than what you could expect for a 19 years old girl, And now she's, you could tell, even though when you talk to her, it doesn't really seem to be 19 years old, It looks much older, let's say. So she's very mature, and she's also now with the captain, I would say, Lucia Sainz, who will guide her a little bit on the way to reach perhaps the #1 in the world this year.
Oh, Lucia Sainz, as you mentioned, 262 matches in her paddle career, 185 wins, ended 2020 as the #1 team with Josemaria. So she's here with Gonzalez, and the courts are immaculate out there today, Marvin. They couldn't wish for better conditions to get themselves prepared for the Madrid Open next weekend. I mean, this is not a competitive tournament, but it has the feel of a competitive tournament. The courts are immaculate. The hotel is just 2 minutes away from the courts. They've been very well looked after. All of the respective COVID-19 protocols have been very nicely implemented as well. So they want to put down a marker for the Madrid Open next week, without a doubt, here today.
Have a look. Since point 1, they started to hit the ball to Paula, because I think they're going to test how Paula is feeling since the beginning of the match, just to see if Paula is on fire or Paula is just doing some unforced errors. She started with the first unforced error with a forehand volley, and yeah, so I think that they're going to measure how she's feeling and then decide whether to construct the tactical game and the strategy of the game. Did you see 2 points, huh? 2 points, and they're already celebrating. You can feel that, that energy, that we want to win this.
Well, yesterday, you were in the same hotel as all the players. As I mentioned, it's just 2 minutes from the centre court here, and the competitive nature spilled over not only from the courts yesterday, also into the hotel, where he was rubbing shoulders with the players, and he was playing a very popular game in Sweden here, shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard.
A friendly, but they all wanted to win.
Friendly, but not to Bella. He was always complaining about everything, and actually I was the one who beat him. He ran away in the semi-finals, and actually was Sanyo the one who won finally the game. But yeah, they're very competitive. They can't lose at anything. That's why they always win, on most of the times. Wow, such an amazing shot. Out by the 3-meter siphons from Bea Gonzalez. That shot, when you kick the ball out of the court, in women, works better than in men. Because men, sometimes they run quicker out of the court because they're expecting that shot much more, So that's why men, instead of kicking the ball out by the 3-meter siphon, they prefer to hit the ball in parallel and bring it back to their own side, to their own court, rather than hit it out, because if they hit it out, the opponents can run out of the court and even win the point from outside the court.
So just 1 point dropped in the opening service game of this ladies' final. Job done, just dots the I's, crosses the T's there, does Lucia Sainz. Served very well yesterday, very, very rarely throughout pretty much most of her service games, first and second set. She was rock solid really, didn't have to face any adversity in that 6-2, 6-love victory versus Arvidsson and Soleimani. So she's picked up from where she left off yesterday really. Glad to get that service hold on the board fairly quickly really, without any problems whatsoever.
Very nice defense from Bea Gonzalez there, down to Paula Josemaria's backhand. Man, this is paddle. I just love it. How good players we have here.
Well, we saw just prior to the start of this final, it was Lucia Sainz who was the player of the quartet that was the first out there warming up.
Yeah.
Ex-tennis player, of course, very, very professional, but just looked slightly tight there on that volley going into the net.
Yeah, I think, you know, as I told you yesterday, perhaps, you know, the first few games, the first few points, it makes, you know, the players to start feeling and to start controlling some of the shots. And actually, yeah, it's complete true what you say. I mean, I completely agree with you. Lucia Sainz, I think he missed the last forehand volley she missed was in 1984, I think, something like that. You know, it's like she never misses such a shot. But I would say, like, forgive at some point the players in the first few games, because they're just, you know, it's like a kind of warming up for the match. But I would say just 2-3 games. 40 love for Paula Josemaria and Ari Sanchez leading this game, so they will try not to get a break in the serve.
So calmly done there. Nice clean service hold that for the lefty. Josemaria again, nice and solid there. Good conversation as well. Communication is key, certainly in any partnership, and already we can see there, look, both of these pairings just talking how they're going to construct and build these points. It's going to be a very tactical match. We can see that already just 2 games in to this first set, really.
This is the beautiful thing about the sport of paddle, you know, when you're there, you say, okay, you start and you start like, okay, we're 1-0. Paula hit one shot, like a one unforced error with a forehand volley, whatever, and then you say, okay, we're going to do this in the next game. And then perhaps, you know, your partner doesn't do it because for any reason, because you can forget or because the shot selection it didn't allow you to play that shot, and then the partner has to be like vulnerable enough to control that situation and say, okay, no worries, we come back again. But sometimes happen that, you know, you're talking about a tactic to your partner, and then your partner doesn't do it. And you say, why we're talking about this tactic? This is the good thing about paddle, partnership. You know, as better you as a partner, better player you become.
So 3 service games into this opening set, and already we can see the quality of these 4 players out there today. Very, very watertight so far with regard to dropping points on serve.
This point is quite important. I want to see how Ari Sanchez does the return to Bea Gonzalez and how they play this point from the defensive point of view. because this point is a very important point for them. Wow, have a look on that. That's what I wanted to see, you know, that return.
Well, three
She
games
went for
in,
it.
I mentioned it was tight, but here
And
we
she
are.
goes again. She called it for the golden point.
Exactly.
Very clever from Ari Sanchez hitting. Oh, so unlucky. She can't believe it.
So the first golden point of the opening set. And there it is. It goes the way of the server. So on serve, 2-1 here. Now, in the finals, good to see that we have new balls for us today, Mari. Didn't have that yesterday. And as the day went on, in the 4th, 5th, definitely into the 6th match, you could see the pressure of the ball certainly played its part in some of the rallies yesterday. Not so today. Those new balls will certainly aid the players in today's finals.
Yeah, they will change the balls by, like they do at the circuit, at the main circuit, by 9 and 11 games. Yeah, that will help for the smashers, the one who likes smashing much more, like Paula Josemaria or like Bea Gonzalez, or in the men's side for Juan Tello, would be perhaps a little bit better sometimes because otherwise it's like if you play longer, players are not used actually to play like 3 sets in a row with the same balls, and even less here in Sweden, where you know the weather is a little bit more chilly, and so the ball perhaps doesn't bounce that much as it does in Spain, just because the weather conditions. You know, when the weather is a little bit hotter, then the warmer, when it's 25 or 30 degrees, as it happens in Spain many times, then the ball has a little bit more pressure. What a volley from Paula Josemaria. Tactically, it's like when they hit the ball to Paula is hitting the ball exactly to where Bears will reach that bandeja shot, let's say, down the middle, but uncomfortably, and where Lucia Sainz cannot reach the bandeja. So she's like no, look at this. Ah, so unlucky. I think she didn't want to go for a winner. She just tried to place the ball in, and you know, when the ball hits the fence, the back fence or something like that, it's like it takes a weird direction that perhaps it makes it lost, you know, even top players like them.
That's very close to the line, just about kissed it, in fact.
This is what I meant today about Paula. Yeah, so if Paula is playing as she's doing now, it's going to be very tough for Lucia Sainz and Bea to get the rhythm of the match, because it's like complete unpredictable. What Paula would do, and Bea's done the second and first error actually during this game. But it's 2-0.
So all of the quartet have now served, all of the quartet have now held. So certainly going into this final on the ladies' side, we expected it to be a very tight tactical affair, so it's proved to be thus far. Nobody's getting that one back. And the conditions, as I mentioned in the introduction, are really good here. Slick surface, really fast. And they want to put down the marker going into the Madrid Open, of course. So if all goes well in 2021, there will be 25 events on the World Padel Tour. 13 Open, 5 Masters, 6 Challenger events. And of course, the final Masters event. So we start the season in Madrid next week and end it in Madrid at the back end of December.
Wow.
Just want to talk about the rankings on the ladies' side, Mari. A little bit more competitive points-wise compared to the men. Much more of the Constantina effect, so it's a little bit more competitive. When you look at the number one pairing on the men's side compared to the ladies, there's not so much disparity points-wise on the women's side compared to men.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, in the men's side, something happened last year where Juan Lebron and Ale Galan, they you know, they match together, they start to play together, and they are very powerful players, very, you know, very good smashers, and they're very quick on court. And so none of the opponents could reach that rhythm of the game for, I don't know, like 6-7 months. So LeBron and Galan, they won many tournaments since the beginning of the year, of the season. Also because the COVID situation made the tournaments were played, most of them in Madrid, where it was, you know, the height of the city, like with the sea level, is a little bit higher, so balls go quicker, as I told you before. So allow them to be like very aggressive all the time. So it was like almost impossible to beat them. And so they took a very quick and long advantage in terms of point. So that is going to be the pair to beat this year. But yeah, it's true what you say about the women's side. Gemma and Lucia, Gemma Triay and Lucia Sainz, the right side player who is serving right now. They were #1, but very tough end of the year, end of the season. So let's see what happens this year. It's going to be a very interesting for the main World Padel Tour event this year, and the ranking as well.
So very business-like service hold once again. 5 games into this open set, still on serve. See Gonzalez and Sainz coming through again, 3 games to 2 the lead. So things are really beginning to tick over very nicely in Sweden with regards to paddle. Here live and direct, of course, inside the Scandinavia Expo. And that's where we'll be for the first paddle fair next January as well. We can just see the conversations going on there between Gonzalez and Sainz as well. And doesn't look to be in good condition there, does she, the young 19-year-old Gonzalez? Just getting a bit of encouragement
it was like with a
Sainz.
headache or something like that. Or she was I think she's like it's like she can't believe that some unforced errors perhaps she did, or the.
Well, she's missed a few volleys so far, hasn't she?
Yes, so perhaps she didn't follow the tactical strategy they had talked before, perhaps, or you know, it's like.
Well, it's a very early start here as well. And let's not forget that summertime begins here with the clocks going forward 1 hour this morning as well. So just looking to shake off the cobwebs, so to speak, there is young Beatriz Gonzalez, but she couldn't wish to have a better partner just to guide her along and give her some encouragement if needed. But no hairline fractures so far going into this first set. 5 games in, yet to see a service break. And once again, for the second time, we see the lefty here, Josemaria, about to serve.
When I see Paula Josemaria smiling and Ari Sanchez smiling, like feeling relaxed, I promise you that it shows that you're in trouble, sir, if you are facing them as an opponent. Anyways, dynamic Paula Josemaria is like running all over the court. She loves it. It's very active. And look how Ari Sanchez is there defending, relaxed. She's not. They feel like comfortable playing the game, you know, even though from the defensive position. Very well, Lucia as well. Very important point, huh? Errol, because, you know, 4 of the players are very steady. Yes, very important for Ari and Paula to keep up the point and to build it up and not going for a winner just because, to show them, to show to your opponents, hey, listen, we are here and we're better. At least during this point, you know.
Great rally off the tape. They've got a slice of luck, but they earned it just by being positive, being aggressive. Both players there very close to the net in that rally.
It's very important in the sport of paddle to to read the game, to understand what is going to happen after such a situation, after such a shot or whatever. You know, I mean, if you know when your opponents are going to do a lob, better to do a little step back so you're ready for a bandeja or for a smash. If you know that your opponent will hit the ball down, then better to close the angle, just stepping a little bit forward, trying to volley from high to low. And so all that thing will make you play better, but that takes a long time perhaps to understand, because at some point paddle is a very simple sport to watch from outside, but once you jump on the court and you try to get and to do what these players do, then you realize how difficult it is to play tactically the sport of paddle.
Despite the COVID situation last year, it was a good year for Josemaria, of course. 33 matches, 24 victories. Champion of the Marbella Master in March last year with her partner Marta. Different partner in 2021 for her. Mari, just talk us through the differences between Marta and the new partner, of course, Mari Sanchez for Josemaria.
Yeah, Paula last year was playing with Marta Marrero in the beginning, and then she finished playing with Bea Gonzalez. They both played together, Paula Josemaria and Bea Gonzalez, for a few tournaments. And now, yeah, for 2021, they decided to play with Ari Sanchez. But as I told you before, Ari is a little bit more experienced player in paddle, I would say. She has like a different resources as a paddle player. That's why she controls the game very good from the back of the court, and at the net she's very steady as well. But from Paula Josemaria, as I told you before, it comes from ex-professional tennis player, and she's a little bit lucky there as well. So everything is coming now for Ari and Paula, yeah? But what I wanted to tell you, Errol, is that Paula Josemaria has been, and this is for everyone who is playing tennis, every lady, every girl who is playing tennis at the moment and wants to start jumping and jumping to the paddle court, start playing paddle. Paula Josemaria started to play paddle around 5 years ago, and she started to compete and to take it seriously, the sport of paddle, and learn professionally how to play and train professionally no more than 3 years ago. That shows how let's say immature is the sport at the moment, that even though an ex-tennis player can jump in the paddle court and become top 5 in the world within 3 years. Perhaps this wouldn't happen in 20 years time, I don't know. But you know, it's like if I start playing tennis tomorrow, I will not be number 10 in 3 years time, you know.
Big point. Breakdown 30-all.
Sainz and Bea Gonzalez are in troubles at the moment, but it makes sense. I mean, how you not going to be in troubles with Ari Sanchez and Paula Josemaria on fire? What they have to do now is just trying to slow down the game, make them play, and until at some point perhaps they start looking to not running for those risk shots.
Well, that sailed out, and that kind of sums up Gonzalez really in this first set. Another unforced error. Doesn't quite look on point so far. It's another break here for Sanchez and Josemaria, and they really attacked the Gonzalez serve there, forced the error, and well, we can see there the despondency. It's etched all over her face there at the sit down. Not quite at ease so far with proceedings in this first set. And it's a double break here for Sanchez and Josemaria, and they're looking complete control of their destiny in this first set, and that could be curtains really for their opponents if they just come through this next service game. So plenty of tournaments on the World Padel Tour this year, of course, starting off next week in Madrid. The Alicante Open as well, the Vigo Open as well, Cantabria, all back-to-back tournaments in April and May. So this is the perfect setup for them just to get themselves ready for competitive paddle next week on the World Padel Tour. So from what you've seen so far in this first set, Mari, Sanchez and Josemaria just need to lift their game slightly, just tidy things up, And first things first, what do they need to do here to get this first break, to get themselves up and underway here in this first set?
Well, as I told you before, I mean, at the moment, Paula Josemaria is making the difference at some point. Because she's a lefty, very unpredictable. She's like, she didn't miss a shot. She missed just one unforced error in the beginning of the set, and then she didn't miss any more, showing her confidence during this first set. So, and Ari Sanchez, usually she plays in that way. I mean, she doesn't do any unforced errors. She's like very steady player. But I think from the tactical point of view, for Bea Gonzalez and Lucia size, if I were them, I perhaps would rather prefer to play some more shots to Ari Sanchez, starting slowly and to start feeling the confidence back. And once they're ready to go, they start playing as well to both of them. So to put Paula on the side, on the fridge a little bit for at least 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So to make Paula not to hit so many shots. Exactly, because they are going to the player who is actually, okay, she missed that forehand volley, but actually she played another, Paula Josemaria played such a great backhand shot that almost get the point. Wow, such a reactions. The ball was out.
Wow, okay. That was a good distance out, so it's a huge opportunity now on the golden point for Gonzalez and Sainz, and really, on the evidence of what we've seen so far, they really need to take it.
It's lovely to see how Lucia Sainz, you know, her legs and how she works out with her muscles, like unbelievable lobs that you need to bend your knees very much, and she can.
Well, that sails out there on the golden point, so a lot of work to do here for Gonzalez and Sainz if they're to turn this match around in the second set. Sanchez and Josemaria very, very sharp out of the blocks here in this first set. Thoroughly deserved to take that one 6-2. And as we say, form is temporary, class is permanent, and we really need to see that in the second set, of course, from Sainz and Gonzalez. So just look at the body language there of young Gonzalez. Again, still not quite on point. Needs to bring her A game to the table here in the second set, but as we see, things can change very, very quickly in a set. So just want to give a quick mention here to many of the people who have got behind this invitational event here inside the Scandinavian Expo. Of course, Everysport Media had a good week. Managed to buy 50% of Klöven Paddle this week, and would change its name to Every Paddle in Sweden. Currently operating 5 paddle facilities in Sweden and plan to establish another 4 in 2021. So hats off and a lot of credit to them as well. Paddle Alto as well, going great guns and really flourishing with regards to driving paddle even further forward in Sweden as well. So well done, and hats off to you guys for getting this invitational event on the calendar just prior to the Madrid Open next week as well. Plenty of top players from Spain and Argentina here this week as well. They got the phone call and they're encouraged by what they've seen here over the last couple of days as well. So a chance to start all over again here for Gonzalez and Sainz. A set down the most experienced player here, serving first at the start of the second set.
The top of the top here in Sweden, the best players in the world, competing for the first time in the year before the World Padel Tour starts. That's brilliant. They have just 2 weeks to go because the World Padel Tour starts next Sunday, the pre-qualified, where Kalle Kruston, Simon Vasquez and Daniel Windahl, the top Swedish players, will be competing in the pre-qualified. And then so the main draw starts on the Wednesday of the week after, where all the top players will be competing for the first time of the year in Madrid Open. It seems like now, you know, Bea and Lucia started like changing directions like a little bit more, playing. Lucia played twice straight lobs there down to her parallel to Ari Sanchez. To Ari Sanchez, non-playing shoulder, let's say, so she has to go over the shots cross court and make Bea to play more comfortably, perhaps. So it seems like they started complete different set.
They needed that service hold, didn't they? Just Sainz, no problems at all getting through that. Broken twice in the first set, Sainz, Gonzalez the once. And when you think about it, they didn't have any problems on serve yesterday. So just that one brick in the wall to climb that ladder to success here in this second set. Certainly have the ability to take this match into a third set. But I just think they need to tidy up on the unforced errors, especially young Gonzalez as well. Just looks a bit more sprightly with regard to her body language here in the start of the second set in comparison with the first, so that bodes well. We'll see whether she can continue that here.
I think, as I told you before, they're changing a little bit, perhaps some to make Ari Sanchez to play a little bit more shots rather than only Paula, who was struggling them quite a lot in the first set, and now she did it again in the first point of her serve game. And so, well, let's see how Bea and Lucia Sainz can sort this situation out, because 6-2 is a quite long way to to recover. It's not a good set for them, and it's not a good start. But I have no doubt that they can bring this match back, and they can even win it.
When you have a look at yesterday's match for Sainz and Gonzalez, the lob worked very, very well for both players against the two Swedes. Not so today so far from what we're seeing.
Yeah, just because perhaps, you know, the volleys of Ari Sanchez and Paula Josemaria and the amount of the power they bring to the ball is like, it's not the same as it was perhaps from the Swedish pair. So now Ari Sanchez and Paula Josemaria's lobs are very effective at the moment.
If you just tuned into our coverage, finals day on the ladies and men's side today, ladies and gentlemen, live and direct on Padel Alto, of course. Get yourself on the official website as well, padelalto.com. Jobs available. If you want to apply, just get onto that website, of course, and lots of match facts and figures and stats and interviews with the players as well, and up-and-coming tournaments that will be coming all over your TV screens in Sweden as well. So get yourself on it. There's plenty on offer on that very website as well, if you wish to enjoy what they have to give to us with regards to all things paddle in Sweden.
It's about feelings. I mean, Ari is like defending every single shot. She's playing very good, very comfortable. It seems like Ari Sanchez used to play with Alejandra Salazar from, the legend of paddling women. She's a top player for years, and now, and so they decided to split up. And Ale Salazar will play with ex-Lucia Sainz partner Gemma Triay. And so when that situation happened, so Ari decided to to play with Paula Josemaria, which it was a quite risky thing for her because she's never played with a lefty player. But it seems to be like they're very comfortable. Such a great point and well done from Bea Gonzalez, just kicking that ball out by the 4 meters back wheel. So, but they look, what I mean is that Paula and Ari, they look like quite comfortable on court, you know, even though they play the second time, you know, together. I mean, it's the second match, the competitive match they're playing together. And so I think they didn't play as good as they played today, as they played yesterday. What I mean is that yesterday they played against the top 15, top 16 pair in the world, and they won 6-4, 6-4. And now they play against the top players, Lucia, Sainz and Bea Gonzalez, and beat them 6-2. Have a look how the players take those 20 seconds they have between every serve, and they take the advantage of have a little chat. And to remember, sometimes, you know, it's very important to remember which is the strategy of the game, which is the tactic we're following up, what do we have to do.
Important breaker serve that could prove to be. Shanked into the net there, and of course just looking to put behind them the trials and tribulations of dropping that first set 6-2. So that will certainly ease the nerves there of the young player. Pairing up with Sainz, Gonzalez looks a lot more comfortable now in the chair. I thought she played very well actually in that last game, served well, a couple of decent winners as well, just to lift her confidence, drag herself up from the canvas. So nice conversation going on as well there as well, Mari, in the chair. Some encouragement from Sainz. That's good to see.
Yeah. You could tell, I mean, at some point, this Bea Gonzalez is also the one who can, you know, at some point when you're 19 years old and you are playing professionally in the World Padel Tour for 1 year, then is the one who has less experience, but at some point it's an advantage. Because it's like, you know, she doesn't have the experience enough to say what is good or what is not good. So she might go for so many winners. She's very, how to say, a very risky shot, very risky in every shot she does sometimes, you know. It's like she doesn't care. She's still a kid, you know what I mean? And so that's very good for Lucia Sainz at some point, because Lucia Sainz is very steady and she can play from the back of the court 7 weeks in a row, you know. And have a look at Bea. Bea is always like there. Dale. Means that, come on. No. Oh. Dynamite was running out of the court, just trying to get that ball back. I think that's why I always say never give up in paddle. Never, ever. The point does not finish until the ball bounces twice. So if Ari Sanchez in that smash would have run out of the court, perhaps she would have reached that ball. Well left from Bea Gonzalez in that shot, and it's La 30. Yes? That's the lob I was talking about. Yeah, she stands on her non-playing leg, bending her knee and doing an amazing lob down the line. That looks quite simple, but it's not at all. Did you see what I mean about Paula, that sometimes she goes for kind of shots? That was like a smash of the backward. I have to say that that's her shot, and that is true. But when she misses that shot, perhaps she gets a little bit frustrated, and perhaps one unforced error becomes another unforced error. Look, look, look. Ah! And that ball was coming to us. Sorry for the audience who was there, but the ball was coming straight to our face, and Errol just grabbed the ball. Man, you're like a baseball player. Like a
Too hot to handle, couldn't hold it, Murray.
Yeah, you
was
couldn't,
travelling at such speed, but not quite out of the woods just yet here.
It was home run. Home run.
Certainly was. Well, it's a loose volley that shanks into the net. Encouragement here for Gonzalez and Sainz. That is the breakthrough that they've been searching for the entire match. Actually, they've got it. And that'll certainly lift their spirits here. And, well, said that they needed to start this second set well, and they've done exactly that, haven't they just?
This is pretty much paddle. I mean, this is the... What's paddle about? Oh, my goodness, have a look at that shot. But this is what I mean about the sport of paddle is this. You know, sometimes you start, and after the set is finished, it seems like, okay, halfway is done, and it's not in that way. You know, it would be lovely to play the entire match with the same intensity. Doesn't matter which is the score, and that's the hard part of the sport of paddle. You know, because always there is one of the players who is not as focused as the other one. When both players are focused, then you have to hold on a little bit, because, you know, perhaps it will take 10 or 15 minutes until one of the players, and you have to find out which is that player who is not focused 100%. And now perhaps in the Josemaria, Paula Josemaria and Ari Sanchez, now at this moment, none of them is as focused as they were in the beginning of the match. Bea is just on fire at the moment, huh? And when Bea is playing in this way, partnering Lucia Sainz, who is like very steady and never misses a shot. Oh my goodness, have a look on that shot. A little bit lucky from Paula Josemaria, but, you know, lucky is never, because even though to win the lottery, you have to play the lottery, you know? So that shot from Paula Josemaria was just absolute different level. The match is at the best moment. That was a proper paddle point. Love it.
What a rally. Best rally of the match so far, Mari, without a doubt. All four players heavily involved in that rally. And I have to say, she looks to have settled down now, Gonzalez. Really looks a lot more comfortable. Her movement, her application, a lot more sharper than what we saw from her in that first set now.
100% agree. She's like, also her body language, you know, when she's like coming to tell Lucia Sainz, hey, listen, Lucia, we're doing a good job. Yeah, 3-1 up. It's 15-40, but doesn't matter. We're there. Unbelievable how Paula Josemaria closes the angle there as a lefty player. Wow. The match is at the highest moment, the best part, the sweet spot, I would say, of the match. The 4 players are just 100% focused at the moment. This is the right moment to watch the 4 players.
Just feel with what we're seeing now, this could be the pivotal service game in the set, really. A hold here, they have breathing space, get themselves in the chair, they can relax, Gonzalez and Sainz. Another break. Oh, it's game on again in this set for sure.
Oh, okay, golden point. That's why she can't. No, it's not golden point. Is it? It's game. It's a break. Yeah, it's break. Also, okay, so they got break back. I mean, actually, they had the break. Now, this is the part, where Bea is like, she gets very upset about that because she knows that unforced error didn't come actually for her shot. It comes from the mental part of the, of the psychological part of the game. She was perhaps a little bit tighter in that bandeja rather than perhaps going with a Vivorag, which is complete different shot, and she's more used to that shot. But because that situation where, it's a break point, that's perhaps why she's complaining, but that is a matter of time. She's 19 years old, and as the time goes through, you can imagine when she's 24, she will be even more top as she is at the moment, and perhaps she can reach the top 1 in the world this year.
Well, top 10's got to be the target for her very quickly. World ranked number 12 as we speak. The 19-year-old Gonzalez from Malaga in Spain. 130 matches already to her name, despite the fact she's still a teenager. Won the Las Rojas final last November, of course. So just when she looked to have a galvanising effect on her game, just slightly loose on that last unforced error. See, they couldn't confirm the break, Gonzalez and Sainz, so we're back on serve now in this second set. And here we see the pairing of Sanchez and Josemaria about to serve again. Josemaria served well. That's what's on offer for the winners and losers. The winners, in fact, I should say. Wonderful trophies set up very nicely, of course, by the organisers here and sponsors of the ICANIWILL Invitational. We'll have the dignitaries also to hand out those trophies as well. It's a nice touch, I believe, actually, because even though it is not a competitive tournament, it feels like one. Mentioned that everything has been laid on very nicely indeed. To talk about the courts, we talk about all the relative COVID protocols that have been implemented very nicely. And those trophies is a nice touch given to the players as well, I think. So they'll walk away here from this tournament in good shape for the Madrid Open from the 5th of April, of course, when that starts, going onwards until the 11th. So well done to Padel Alto and, of course, Everysport media as well for doing that. Every paddle, I should say.
We've done the PCR test yesterday for the COVID, and myself as well, as I'm going back to Barcelona together with some of the players today. Bella, his partner, Ari Sanchez as well. Some of us, we are going to Barcelona. Some of the others go back to Madrid to get ready to the beginning of the World Padel Tour season. Well, Paula and Ari Sanchez are back, I would say. You could tell how Paula is not risking that much at the moment, just playing perhaps like 20 or 30 centimeters from the net. I mean, every shot, did you see both of them? Like all the shots they do, they are not as risk as they used to be. Have a look at that shot, have a look at that shot. They're just trying to put the ball in game and to play long rallies until the ball really comes to go for a winner. So as they are a little bit more comfortable, they wait for this situation perhaps to go for a winner. So that is not an unforced error from Bea Gonzalez, but it's a wrong shot selection actually. It's not the shot she should have go for.
Finals day today. Bragging rights and pride at stake, and of course those wonderful trophies as well. And we can just see what's at stake here with both partnerships here taking longer and longer to serve. Those conversations are getting more and more frequent now in this final.
That's what I mean. I mean, Paula, you do a lot to Paula. Paula, as a lefty, she played one bandeja down the line. And then, even though I'm just next to her because I'm behind our commentary table. Is just behind Paula Josemaria at the moment. And what I mean is that she changed the direction of the ball that easy that I couldn't even read where she's going to hit that ball. So I cannot imagine for Lucia's size how to read that game situation. Like this one, she changed the direction all the time and very unpredictable what she does. So, you know, it's like that pushes you to do something else, you know? And Bear is trying to do something else, but, you know, when you push yourself a little bit higher what you are used to do, then perhaps is when you go for unforced errors. Rather
Just needs to shake it off, doesn't she, here, Gonzalez? We can see the erratic nature of her game so far, etched all over her face. That serve going into the net. Too many unforced errors at the moment from her. Just when it looked like she got her game back together. Love 30 under pressure here.
Right, and Lucia, exactly, right. And Lucia, that's why they're not playing to Lucia, because Lucia is a very, she perhaps not going to win as many points as Bea would win, but she's not going to miss shots. And because Bea is missing some shots at the moment, so they, you know, it's like, as you said yesterday, how do you say that English phrase, like the way they see blood, they go for the meat or something like that?
Like any predator, any hunter, when they see the blood, they go ahead and get the meat. And that's exactly what we're seeing here from Sanchez and Josemaria. Good smash that from Sainz. Still got a couple of break points, a golden point if needed here to get back-to-back service breaks. And kick on now in this set. The way this match is going at the moment, it always feels like perhaps it could be mini match points really. We'll see. Second serve again here for Gonzalez.
15-40. Beautiful bandeja down the middle, and now let's see what Paula does. Oh, great lob. Four players very steady. Have a look at that forehand volley. Wow. Oh my goodness, have a look at that. So unlucky and very well played for the four players. This game was just different level.
So there's the break. Back in business here for Sanchez and Josemaria. From being a breakdown, it is back-to-back service breaks there, and they're on course here perhaps to win this final, should they go ahead and confirm that break. What an excellent rally that was there, Mari, but you can see there just a difficult situation there really for Sainz. So quick turnaround here, and the pendulum swings the way back.
They were 3-1
in favour of Sanchez and Josemaria. Incidentally, in that shuffleboard game that you participated in the hotel yesterday with the players, on the ladies' side, who was the winner?
But Nicole Traviesa, she was the one. She was the one, and she could actually stay for a little bit longer because the other four players had to play. So fortunately, the other players lost. And so Nicole was there playing until the end. And actually, she beat Sanyo Gutierrez in the final match.
Glad to have Mara Andrini alongside me here for both the finals, as it was yesterday for our 6 matches as well. The head coach at the Hello Paddle Academy. If you want to find out just about how good a coach is, get yourself on his website, of course, hellopaddleacademy.com. Designed for the best coaching paddle programs. Over 1,500 players this man to my right-hand side has coached. And of course, he had academies in Barcelona, England, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Over 20 years of paddle experience under his belt, this man. So couldn't wish for a better co-commentator this weekend if I tried, really.
Thank you, big man. Without you, this would be absolutely impossible because, first of all, your English, your pronunciation is perfect. Everything, you're a very professional commentator, and I'm very glad to be just helping you out a little bit with the tactical point of view of the sport. okay, it was it was an unforced error, but deserved unforced error after the big effort by bringing it back 3-1 down to 4-3 up. Okay, just the second, no. The second unforced error there with the forehand volley.
Well, we've mentioned several times before, it isn't a competitive final, but it feels like one. The competitive nature in the hotel yesterday on the shuffleboard. Back-to-back tight volleys into the net there from Josemaria.
Great bandeja from Ari Sanchez, steady, very slow down the middle, taking, Bea Gonzalez just on the way, on the transition from back to forward. That shot was brilliant. Sometimes people ask me, my students say, I want to learn that shot, I want to learn that shot. And I always say, just also learn the game situations and to communicate with your partner, because that would be as important as hitting the ball.
Scoreboard pressure, opponent pressure, no doubt about it there from Sainz. Got the break, they couldn't consolidate their position by confirming that break, and they're under pressure here. Once again, you can feel it, you can see it, it's etched all over their faces really. So the break of serve has been confirmed. Once again, they're in a very healthy position now, Sanchez and Josemaria. They're one game away here from winning the ladies' final. And it's over to the most experienced player out there here, Sainz, designated now with the task to hold serve and keep herself and her partner alive now in this match. Serving to stay in it, a set and a breakdown.
Very good defense from Lucia Sainz in that shot off the back wheel. Just going back straight down the line to Ari Sanchez, non-playing shoulder. That's what she needs, Bea needs to hit the ball. Bea needs to, she's like a tiger on court, She needs to do that. And then perhaps to slow down the unforced errors or to play her game, She needs to be aggressive. It's her way of playing, as well as, as Paula. 5-4, and this is the chance they have, Ari Sanchez and Paula Josemaria, to win this game and to win the match. But, the in front against them is Bea Gonzalez and Lucia Sainz, who will try to avoid that situation.
So very quickly, first from the chair, it is Sanchez and Josemaria just looking to get on with business here, and that business is to hold serve and win the women's final here. So important when you're looking to serve out a match, potentially, that you take those first couple of points very quickly if you can, just to settle any nerves or butterflies you may have. Josemaria it is. Great volley, plenty of slice, keeps it nice and low. The ball completely died there on Gonzalez. Classic lefty volley, you could say. That last shot kind of sums up the match, really, for Gonzalez and Sainz, Mari, in many ways.
Well, 40 left. These are 3 match point to Paula, Josemaria and Sanchez, who I personally think they played an amazing match. Actually, I think they just did some unforced errors during 1-2 games maximum, and then the entire match they were playing a very, very tough for the opponents to get a point from. I mean, I think it was, I wouldn't say the perfect match, but it was 85 or 90%. A great match for Paula, Josemaria and Sanchez.
So there it is, there's the winning shot. So 6-2, 6-4, a straight sets victory it is for Sanchez and Josemaria. They have the bragging rights here inside the Scandinavia Expo, and they really recovered very nicely indeed after being broken in game number 4 in the second set. Broke back immediately, confirmed the break, and after that it was smooth sailing all the way to seal the deal in straight sets. Wonderful display of women's paddle here this morning, no doubt about it, and they'll be delighted to come through that in straight sets, without a doubt. Just couldn't really get their A-game piece together, I have to say, the Gonzalez and Sainz. Gonzalez as well started very sluggishly, got it back together early doors in the second set, but after that she couldn't eradicate the unforced errors, and her partner Sainz tried to lift their spirits, but it was all in vain. So do stick around. We can see on the right hand side there the graphic, those wonderful trophies. They'll be handed out, and of course going into the Madrid Open starting on the 5th of April. They look in good shape to Ari Sanchez and Josemaria. Of course, Sanchez, the world ranked #1 in the world, 23 years of age. Bodes well for the remainder of the season, I believe, that partnership. So we'll have the dignitaries that will come down onto the court to hand out those trophies. And of course, once that is done and dusted, we will have the men's final very shortly indeed here as well. Fernando, Belasteguin and Sanyo Gutierrez, both of Argentina, up against their fellow Argentines, of course, Federico, Chingotto and Juan Tello.
Okay, welcome everybody. Paddle Alto here, absolute different level event here in Sweden, Stockholm. And we are with the winners of the winners here, Ari, Sanchez and Paula, Josemaria. Congratulations for the match. I will ask her to Ari first in Spanish, and then she will answer in Spanish, and I will try to translate what she thinks about the match, because at some point they were struggling a little bit in the second set, and there were some little unforced errors, but they kept the match a little bit, a very long way. They kept a very high level during the whole match, so perhaps that was the thing that they needed to beat Bea Gonzalez and Lucia Sainz. So that is going to be my question. Bueno, Ari, la pregunta es que lo que han necesitado quizás es mantener toda esa fuerza y no tantos unforced errors, no tantos errores no forzados para poder ganarle a una pareja como ellas.
Sí, bueno, primero gracias por la felicitación. Y luego creo que hemos hecho un partido súper serio, muy completo, desde el principio hasta el final. El primer set ha sido casi perfecto y, como tú dices, en el segundo creo que he tenido 2 o 3 juegos malos, donde he fallado un poco más, pero es verdad que Paula ha estado allí aguantando el partido, luego me he reenganchado y la verdad que para jugar contra estas parejas tops, yo creo que este año será muy importante el hecho de tener que los momentos malos duren poco y volver al partido y jugar como nosotros sabemos que creo que hemos jugado a un gran nivel y estoy muy contenta.
Well, she says that they started the match very, very focused since the first point, and actually it looked like that since the first point. Actually, the four players. Now she said that they will need that through the whole year, because this year is going to be very competitive, the World Padel Tour, and that's why they need to practice these kind of things, like starting very, very focused since the first point. And well, I got another question, because at some point is that yesterday they played in the first round against a pair which is ¿qué son ellas? La Nicole Traviesa y Nela son más o menos pareja 14,
sí,
pareja
15.
Yeah, they are pair number 15, seeded 15th in the world, and they won 6-4, 6-4. It looked like quite tight, and now they are playing against the third seeded pair, and now they beat them like a little bit more comfortably. So that's the thing which is the main key for why did happen that situation. ¿Entendiste la pregunta?
Sí,
o sea,
sí.
¿por qué ayer
Sí,
fue
sí.
6-4, 6-4 contra Nela y que jugaron una barbaridad? No quiero decir
Sí,
que no
y-
jugaron una barbaridad, pero bueno, y hoy juegan contra Bea y contra Lucia, que son una pareja muy difícil, y lo ganan pareció como más
Sí.
cómodas en cierto sentido.
Sí, yo creo que ayer no salimos tan concentradas, yo creo que eso se notó. También es verdad que era el primer partido así como medio de competición con Paula, que sí que habíamos estado entrenando, pero quizá había un poco de esos nervios y también, como dices, ellas vienen sin presión, juegan contra nosotras y están súper motivadas, y la verdad es que les salió un partido muy bueno y nos lo pusieron difícil, pero yo creo que eso también era el primer partido, un poco los nervios y nos faltó quizá un poco también de intensidad, yo creo. Y hoy hemos salido desde el principio, sabíamos que si no salíamos al 100% nos iban a ganar.
Well, Ari is telling that actually perhaps yesterday there was the first match they played together, and because they were playing perhaps against the 15th seeded pair in the world, they started perhaps a little bit more relaxed, not 100% relaxed, but a little bit more unfocused, I would say, and that's perhaps what happened actually, why they got 6-4, 6-4, and also because Traviesa and Nela Britos were like, they knew that perhaps they would lose the match, and so they started like a little bit more with no pressure, and so that's when you play without pressure, it's like you can play much better, and so that's why today they knew that they had to start very focused since the first minute of the match, and that's why perhaps today they got the match a little bit more comfortably with 6-4 and 6-2 and 6-4 in the second set. So congratulations and thank you very much. Do you want to say something for the Swedish people?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm very happy for the win and for being here with Swedish people because they are amazing.
That was
I'm very
absolutely
happy.
Well done, thank you very much. And next time we're going to do the interview in English, yeah?
Yeah,
Please,
next
so I
time.
don't have to translate it, everything. I'm just a coach, I'm not a translator. Okay, thank you very much, Ari. And
Thank you.
Paula, well, my question to you, I know that you understand English, and if you want to answer it in Spanish, there, I'm good enough to translate it. I'm comfortable enough to translate, I'm not good enough. Listen, so the question for you is, how do you feel? Because after this match, perhaps, it's a little, I wouldn't say it's not a final, but it's like the season starts next week, and next week is when World Padel Tour starts, and how is the feeling for the whole year, which is the objective for this year, and which are your feelings from the beginning of the season with Ari?
Bueno, pues la verdad que con Ari genial, dentro de la pista muy bien, la verdad que nos entendimos desde el primer momento que empezamos a entrenar, fue todo muy sencillo y muy fluido, y fuera de la pista nos llevamos muy bien y nos divertimos mucho. Y bueno, en cuanto a los objetivos de la temporada que viene, al final, bueno, lo positivo que tenemos es que somos una pareja joven y que tenemos muchísimas ganas de mejorar. Obviamente nuestro objetivo es ganar, pero bueno, al final es nuestro trabajo y creo que si disfrutamos con ello, todo va más rodado, ¿no? Y al final, cuando haces las cosas disfrutando, creo que sale bien. Entonces, bueno, estamos trabajando para ser mejores jugadores individualmente y como equipo, y objetivo, pues, ganar.
Okay, we try to translate the whole thing. So what Paula says is that she's like very comfortable with Ari because they started playing together this year, and that she's very comfortable on court and off court in paddle. That's very important as well, and that she's feeling like very. I know. It's like every pair, when you started playing together, perhaps you feel happy, but it seems that they are both, I know them personally and I know the personality, and it seems like they will match together and they will get on, even if it doesn't work the pair. But what I mean is that she's feeling like very comfortable with Ari on court and off court. Ari, I think you too.
Yeah.
And also she says that the idea and the point of view of this year, for the competitive point of view, is like winning. Of course, it's their job, but the first thing is to enjoy what you do, because if you enjoy what you do, perhaps the result then that will come. So thank you very much, and thanks for being here in Sweden and sharing with all the paddle lovers around the world this fantastic event. Thank you very much, congratulations, and I wish you the best of the luck for this World Paddle Tour.
Thank you so
year.
much. Thank you. And we hope that everybody loves our paddle.
Yes?
Yes.
Different. See you next time. Stay there, because now we come with the finals of the finals. Bella and Sanyo against Tello and Chingotto. Thank you.
Hello and a very warm welcome back to the action here. Final match of the day here, once again, live and direct inside the Scandinavia Expo for the ICANIWILL Invitational event on Paddle Alto. And of course, this is the much eagerly and much anticipated men's final of the day. It is none other than Fernando Belasteguin and Sanyo Gutierrez, their second match as a doubles combination up against Federico, Chingotto and Juan, Tello, an all Argentinian affair. And of course, no prize money, no ranking points up for grabs, but expect this to be the most competitive match of the weekend that we've seen so far. A lot of pride and a lot of bragging rights on the table, as well as some wonderful crystal trophies that have been nicely set up here by the organisers, Paddle Alto, and of course Everysport media as well. So Chingotto, 23 years of age, once again pairing up with Tello. Really are an exciting pair. Two of the brightest young players to come out of Argentina in recent years. They've been on the World Paddle Tour since 2016 together. The #1 ranked pairing in Argentina as we speak. That can change, and you'd expect that these two fellows here, Belasteguin and Gutierrez, to have something to say about that. Mari, the scene is set here for what we expect to be a wonderful final here today. I know that you're very excited about this one. Just talk us through where this match is going to be won and lost here this morning.
I have to apologize to you before starting, just in case I get a little bit excited or, you know, about this match, because it's the match that everyone wants to watch. Bela and Sanyo against Tello, Chingotto. This could be the final of the World Paddle Tour many times this year. So welcome everybody who are watching the match from home or wherever you are in the world. If you have friends who love the sport of paddle, call them and tell them, listen, this is the sport to play. Bela and Sanyo together for the second time actually. Yesterday they played the first match comfortably, beating Pinheiro and the top one, Simon Vasquez, the king of Sweden, who played a very good match. But now they're facing up the top players, Tello and Chingotto as well from Argentina, the 4 Argentinian players here in this final.
For yesterday, for the right to be here in this men's final. 6-1, 6-3 versus Windal and Knutsson for Chingotto and Tello. Drop serve just the once, game 4 in the second set. And it was Chingotto off that collaboration that dropped his deal. Serving first there in this fight. And of course, and with regards to Belasteguin and Gutierrez, 6-love, 6-3 versus Vasquez and Pinheiro. Didn't drop serve spread across the 2 sets yesterday. Rock solid, safe as houses, you could say, from the service line. And that's what makes this final such an intriguing one, really. Really going to have to work hard to get the breaks of serve you would expect in this match today.
What a smash from Tello. I can't really hear what they're talking about there. Perhaps the carpet wasn't in place when Sanyo ran out. He tried to reach that ball from Juan Tello's smash. So that was a golden point, and there's the first break for Bela and Sanyo, who actually, after a few unforced errors, they still look well relaxed on court. Actually, it's a pair that, I don't know, you know, is Bela and Sanyo are the pair to beat this year. You know, it's like Bela has been 16 years in a row #1 in the world, and then Sanyo actually was the one who, with Maxi Sanchez, took the the #1 for 1 year during 2018 until LeBron and Galan started to lead the ranking, as well as Paquito Navarro. But you know, everyone knows that Bela is Bela, and last year competing with Agus Tapia, a friend of mine, did a great year playing together and even winning the Master Finals in Menorca.
With regards to Belasteguin, 41 years of age, showing no signs whatsoever of slowing down with regard to his professional career. It's amazing to think 419 matches in his career, 373 of those matches are victories. He is so lethal and determined to win just about everything he does, not only on paddle, in life as well, Mari.
Life in paddle is, you know, for Bela is like complete amazing. I mean, I always, you know, that we come from the same city in Argentina, and I know him and his family very well for a very long time, and you know, I was always telling him that it's amazing that he's been doing that in a row for so many years. For so many years, even though he has 3 kids, you know. I remember Federer in tennis, when Federer had Federer had a kid, then he slowed down a little bit, because it makes sense. I've been a dad now. I became a dad a few months ago, and I could tell that, you know, it's not an easy task for professional players. But Bela, you know, he could keep that top ranking for a very long period of time, even though having 3 kids as well. So very well done for his wife as well.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen him on Swedish soil. Belasteguin was training in Uppsala in February, actually. Highly impressed with what he saw in Uppsala. The facilities are there, second to none. The growth as well as the development of the sport of paddle in Sweden, and the fact that Sweden has such a strong culture and tradition of indoor racket sports left him really impressed with what he saw. And he'll be back here for the first paddle fair in January of 2022 in Expo's newly built premises in Arlanda. Vasquez as well has signed on the dotted line to say that he'll make an appearance as well. So 80% of the stands are sold out for that paddle fair next year.
Wow, man. Now it's a golden point. I think Juan Tello will go for return of the serve, Bela's serve. To play tactically against Bela and Sanyo is very hard when they serve, even though when Bela serves. First of all, because Sanyo Gutierrez covers very good the net position on his side, and if you hit to his volleys, he will just make you struggle a lot with his volleys. And then Bela covers with his bandeja, covers the whole air game from behind Sanyo as well. And if the lob is very good, look at that. And if the lob is very good, he will play amazing shots off the back wall. So at some point, it's very hard to get a point from them unless you do a great lob to Sanyo. But to do a great lob to Sanyo, you have to perhaps wait for the very right moment when you are comfortable, and they never make you feel comfortable on court. My goodness, Sanyo was there. And look at how much effort that Tello has to do to win that point, you know. But they are very used to that. I mean, Tello and Chingotto, they're both very hard workers. Very hard workers. And that is what makes them to be at the top of the ranking at the moment as well.
Well, that's the level of paddle you have to do just to win a point in this final. As expected, seen some high-level, high-quality paddle early doors here in this first set. Finally, they get a hold and get themselves up and underway here. Chingotto and Tello. Tello ticking the boxes, dotting the I's and crossing the T's and coming through with his service game intact. Now, when you think about Chingotto and Tello, Mari, been a pair since 2013, number one ranked players in Argentina since 2016. It's a new pairing for Belasteguin and Gutierrez. They will want to take that number one status in Argentina as quickly as they can, just to hold sway and have the bragging rights in your country of birth.
Yes, I mean, you think about, I mean, Bella and Sanyo are the adults here. I mean, actually, Tello has he's 26 years old. Chingotto is 23, 24. I mean, and they've been playing together for 6 years already, or even more, and they're friends each other. We were talking about this yesterday because, and actually, it was one of the questions I did to them in the interview, during the interview, because, you know, having such a little friendship and knowing each other, not only on court but also off court, it makes a difference. Actually, I have to tell you, Errol, that in women, for many years, there were the twin sisters were the number one in the world. You imagine, like in tennis, is Serena and Venus playing together for a long time. So it's like you know each other not only on court but personally, emotionally, and that makes a lot of difference in the sport of paddle. What a final we're watching. Bella didn't like that unforced error he's just done with when Tello was behind at the backcourt, and Bella could have played an easier shot, not risking to open up the angle and missing that shot of the fence side from Tello. 4 players are doing some kind of unforced errors, but as I told you, perhaps in the previous match, that the first few games is like they are just warming up for the game and seeing how they're feeling for each different shot. That's the lob I was talking about today. Tello has to be very comfortable to be able to lob Sanyo Gutierrez. Otherwise, Sanyo will cover the net, and with his volleys, he will make everyone struggle. Very good decision making from Chingotto. Little boy, but very powerful, huh?
He certainly is diminutive in height, but he packs a punch, doesn't he, off both wings. We saw that yesterday. Some of his overheads and smashes were absolutely ferocious, to say the least.
Wow. We are watching Chingotto in Chingotto's land. Chingotto's land.
Well, he took control of that rally there, Belasteguin. He was on the periphery throughout most of it, but once he saw that, anticipated it beautifully, put that point to bed, didn't he?
But did you see how Chingotto was defending, I don't know, 20 shots from Sanyo and Bella? He wasn't defending shots from me, you know. He was defending amazing shots coming from cross-court, from the Argentinian player from San Luis.
Well, it's Gutierrez this time is under pressure from the service line. A break point here for Belasteguin and Gutierrez.
Wow.
Well played. Saw the
Absolutely.
space, exploited it brilliantly.
The boss! The boss is at home. 3-1. Chingotto's serve. Remember that, as I told you before, Chingotto and Tello are very steady, and they keep that the same level for a long time, and they can sometimes bring up a very, very high level. So Bella and Sanyo have to be very awake during the whole match and very focused during the whole match to be able to keep the score up. Chingotto didn't touch that Sanyo smash. I think the point started properly when Sanyo did the lob to Tello, and then they can build up the tactics to push Tello at the back and make him to defend until he makes a mistake doing a short lob, allowing Sanyo to win that point.
If you just tuned into our coverage here this morning inside the Scandin Expo, of course the women's final was first. That was done and dusted in straight sets. 6-2, 6-4 there. It was Ari Sanchez and Paula Josemaria who came through against Gonzalez and Sainz in that match. Breakdown at one stage in the second set. They broke back with immediate effect, and after that it was smooth sailing all the way there to the finishing line to get the job done in straight sets.
It makes me laugh because Chingotto is like, how can you get a point from Chingotto's? I mean, his skills defending are just amazing, and Bella and Sanyo just take the decision to carry on playing to him when he's at the back of the court. Now the lob of Tello is a little bit better, just pushing Bella at the back and making run a little bit. Too good.
Well played.
Just too good from Chingotto.
Completely takes all the pace off the ball there, Chingotto, and that bodes well. So there still remain a breakdown here in this opening set.
Have a look.
Chingotto
Not even a
well
drop
there.
shot, you know. That's what I always say to people. Don't try to do drop shot, like amazing drop shots, like the one that Sanyo did yesterday. That has been all around the social media, around the paddle world. You know, it has like more than 500,000 views all around the world. But that was a magical shot, you know. But you don't need to do that shot sometimes to win the point. Even though you do a little bit slower, if you have to take the right decision making. The player is at the back, then I play slower.
2020, when you have a look at it, was a bit of a down year for Sanyo Gutierrez when you compare to what he did in 2019. In that year, amazingly, he won 76% of the matches that he played in, 39 wins in 51, taking home 5 tournament championships as well. Last year, still managed to get a very respectable 69% win ratio, but just 1 tournament last year. He's a proud Argentine, so he'll want to set the record straight in 2021. Of course, still plenty of tournaments on the World Paddle Tour penciled in, and hopefully they do all get to be completed. Of course, if all goes well, there will be 25 events this year, 13 Open, 5 Masters events, 6 Challengers. Some really good tournaments up and coming. Of course, the Madrid Open from the 5th of April up until the 11th. The Alicante Open as well from the 19th of April to the 25th. So it is the maestro again. The boss about to serve once again. A break up here early in this first set.
Errol, just let me say hello in Spanish language to all the people who are around the world. Hola a todos, esperamos que estén disfrutando de este partido maravilloso que estamos viendo de los argentinos aquí jugando a tope, como dicen en España, y espero que lo estén disfrutando mucho. Nosotros desde aquí de los comentarios, desde Padel Alto, también querían agradecer a toda la gente de España, de México, de Argentina, de Chile. Recibimos mensajes de todos lados y queremos que sepan que estamos acá recibiendo todos los mensajes y Padel Alto estará viendo a ver cómo fusionar esto también con el idioma español para que en un futuro puedan tener los comentarios en todos los idiomas. Ahora tocó inglés porque el pádel acá en Suecia está creciendo también, pero bueno, esperamos que lo estén disfrutando también. And now we have to carry on with the English language because here is that what we are for. But I just wanted to say hello to everyone who is around the world watching this match. Unbelievable point.
Well, that's the level of paddle. You really just cannot take your eyes off this final. Beautiful hand-to-eye coordination at one stage in that rally from Belasteguin. How we get that ball back into play, only he knows. Incredible. Opportunity knocks here, perhaps. Love 30 for Chingotto and Tello.
This is what I mean. What I meant today. You know, it's like when you play the very good lobs to Bella. Bella stands that at the back of the court, like very steady, and his shots off the back wall are just amazing. It's like a rock coming to you. It's not a ball.
Ball completely died there. Kept nice and low again there from Gutierrez. Seen quite a lot of that so far today. The courts are very quick inside the Scandinavia Expo this week. Slightly different conditions, of course, it will be at the Madrid Open. But they're in good nick, the courts. A few of the players have touched upon that fact as well. Mari as well was here on Friday, out there on the courts showcasing his skills.
Yeah, we played the Pro-Am on Friday with some sponsors, some people who came to play a little bit some matches. So with all the players, and they as well invited me to join all these matches, and we play. The whole Friday was quite fun. It was very good. But then on Saturday, competition started, so there was no more fun anymore. Fun is for us that we are outside watching and commenting the matches. You know, I'm so happy to be here. Look at that lob. Look at the height of the lob, like taking the advantage of the roof, which is very high. And that is the other thing what I commented today early in the match. Like Sanyo covers the net position very, very good. Look at that defense from Sanyo. Shots off the back, well, another lob. This is great. Wow. This is unbelievable point. Did you see that Sanyo in that point, that shot, he went for a little risky shot. You know, he was impacting the ball a little bit behind his body line, and he tried to repeat the backhand shot cross-court to Chingotto. So that I would call an unforced error. I don't know you, Errol, but for me, that was an unforced error from Sanyo. He could have done complete another thing, you know. He could have done a lob down the line, he could have done a shot down the middle.
Well, those are the things so far, because the level is so high. Some of these are forced errors and not unforced errors. It's so difficult to judge which is which, but they really are dragging the very best out of one another, this quartet out there. Amazing level of paddle so far.
Oh, goodness. Have a look on that shot. Beautiful. That's what Bela and Sanyo have to do at this moment to win a point against Tello and Chingotto. Sanyo was creating the angle, just playing the bandeja very down the middle to move Chingotto away from Chingotto's land. So then hit the ball a little bit harder. But Tello reached the ball. My goodness, such a defense. You know what? I think it was in. Bela thought it was out. So when Bela hit the ball, he thought it was out. So he said, oh, no. And actually, the ball was in. I don't know if they will replay the point. Bela is smiling. He's laughing at the situation because he was like, oh, no. And actually, the ball went in. And Tello stopped the point because he thought, what was going on? Look at this. Bela reached the ball. He goes for it. Tello reached the ball and he wins the ball. Unbelievable shot straight down to the net from outside of the court. El Gato Tello. Great shot from outside of the court from Juan Tello. I will tell you something. Do you know, Errol, that they called the cat to Tello and the mouse to Chingotto, you know. That is their nicknames in the World Padel Tour. El Gato y el Ratón. Have a look how Sanyo makes Chingotto take the wrong decision making after 3, 4, 5 shots, like one cross court, one down the middle, a lob, down the middle again. It's like so many different shots that Sancho is controlling at this moment, Chingotto. And Chingotto has to take a decision, like whether to hit the ball out or to go for a winner.
Well, what a service hold that could prove to be there from Tello. Boy, they had to fight tooth and nail and work overtime just to stay touch tight here in this opening set. Still a break of serve the difference between these two teams out there. And really, this match on paper was billed as the creme de la creme, the pièce de résistance this weekend, and boy, it has not disappointed whatsoever. Just want to touch upon the fact here quickly, Mauro, that for so many years, Belasteguin paired up with Juan Diaz. They won 170 matches of the 190 they played together. So many years together, 14 straight years as the world-ranked #1 pairing on the doubles tour. Just talk us through the differences between Juan Diaz and the new partner for Belasteguin, Sanyo Gutierrez.
Well, first of all, Juan Martin Diaz was a lefty player. So for Bela, since last year, was a new partnership with Tapia, playing with a right-handed player for the first time, like in years. Juan Martin Diaz was also, they call him the reaction man in the World Padel Tour, because he's a lefty player and very, very, very aggressive, very offensive. And so, and Bela, that's what everyone says about the tactical point of view, that Bela became a great defender by playing with Juan Martin Diaz, because Juan Martin Diaz was kind of dynamite Paula Josemaria, kind of that player that is very aggressive, but sometimes is in the no man's land, or sometimes does unforced errors. So Bela became a very steady and very good defender thanks to Juan Martin Diaz. You know what I mean?
So it's tense, it's tight, it's nip and tuck, and you really cannot take your eyes off this match. It's also live and direct, of course, as we know, on Padel Alto. So it's a wonderful website, of course. It's going to be up and coming very, very shortly from now. You can apply for a job if you wish on padelalto.com. Reporters in Spanish and English, content creators for social media are required, of course. So if you're talented with regards to that particular field, well, again, get yourself on padelalto.com. It will be a pleasure, and they're an excellent company to work for, and you certainly will enjoy the experience of that. There's very little doubt.
Chingotto even playing from the left side, cross court to Bela. He went for it. You know, he's the right side players. I always say that because they are very steady, and you know, for the mental point of view, they are, you know, they're very good. And now that makes them to be 4 to love. I said 3, actually 4 points for a break point. Okay, the first one. He came back. 15-40. Still 3 to go for Tello and Chingotto. Having Tello very close is a big man, huh? He's a very big boy.
So that sails out. Finally, they get themselves the breakthrough here. Chingotto and Tello, game number 8. I have to say we are back on serve now, and really is a case of game on now in this first set here.
Now that the game is starting, I would just say something in Spanish to all the Spaniards who are watching this around the world. Bueno, para todos los que están escuchando desde España o desde diferentes países del mundo, de padelalto.com están buscando a periodistas que quieran también trabajar en español. Es una empresa muy grande que está apoyando mucho al deporte y bueno, están buscando a reporters, se dice en inglés. Los reporters son como, bueno, reporteros, gente que sabe del deporte pádel y habla español, y también los que crean contenidos en redes sociales, así que, bueno, están bienvenidos a dejar sus currículum en padelalto.com y, bueno, espero que les sirva a aquellos que están buscando algún trabajito online, les venga muy bien. Así que un abrazo grande para todos y que puedan seguir disfrutando de este maravilloso partido. Okay, 4-0, there was a break at the beginning for Sanyo and Bella. Now, Tello and Chingotto, as I told you, Errol, the beginning of the match, I told you, Tello and Chingotto are very used to suffer. And suffering, learning how to suffer in paddle is very important. Now with lap 30, it didn't look like Bella and Sanyo liked the break, so they want to break back. So it's lap 40, so 4 break point.
Well, factor in it was Chingotto, who was the first player to be broken in this opening set. Game 1, in fact. Staring down the barrel of a gun here, game number 9, fresh after getting that first break, actually.
Too good from Tello. And that decision just, you know, at this moment, which was a very tough for them, winning that point was very important. You have a look at that jump. Printing the ball, so much power in it. Unbelievable points, how they tactically play. Loves to Chingotto, trying to reach the net position. Great shot from Sanyo that the ball dies straight after the rebound off the back wall, going down very slightly and low to the side wall. If Chingotto couldn't reach that ball, it's because no one in the world can reach it. So, well done for Sanyo Gutierrez.
So, have to get themselves a break, Mari. They drop their serve once again, and it's the maestro, Belasteguin, and his partner, Gutierrez, now who are back in the ascendancy after that break. So, we say it often as well, when you get yourself the break, you need to confirm it directly just to push on. They couldn't do that, so you can see they're putting just about everything into these rallies here. They're very fit, all 4 of these players out there. We saw them warming up as well, very professional. Doesn't matter what he does, Belasteguin, he wants to win, whether it's shuffleboard in the hotel last night with you or out here in this exhibition match on the main court in a game of paddle. Wonderful athlete there. We're just enjoying seeing Tello there. Used his height and his strength well, 2 feet off the floor with the overhead.
One thing I want to tell about the 2 pairs, it looks Bella and Sanyo more relaxed, but not now because they got a break and because they are 5-4 up or whatever. They're like more relaxed about the game, about you know, it's like they don't. It looks like they don't care that much, even though they really care. But Tello and Chingotto are like 100% focused. You know what I mean? But perhaps this is what Bella and Sanyo need, because they were number 1. They have the all pressure is on them. It's like they are the favorites.
Well, competition in any walk of life is healthy, and especially in paddle, when you think that all 4 are from Argentina, fighting for that number 1 status in the country. So that helps. Your training, your diet, everything, how you recover, just to give you that extra few % with regards to trying to get that number 1 status.
Yeah, and perhaps what I think is that Sanyo and Bella need that relaxing moment to be focused. You know what I mean? Rather than Tello and Chingotto, that perhaps if they start like, smiling and laughing about a little game situation that they didn't do as they wanted to do it and so on, perhaps they will lose that focus on the game.
Well, certainly with regards to Belasteguin, he's had his game face on the moment he landed here, actually, in our lander. Was very comfortable in Sweden, I mentioned that as well. Training in Uppsala in February. Real good poster boy, you can say, for paddle. Real good ambassador to have on the tour as well. Someone as established and esteemed as Fernando Belasteguin. 41 years young, I would say, not old. Because I believe this man can go on for many, many more years to come on the tour.
That is a very good image for the rest of the world, to everyone who plays paddle, you know, because it's a kind of a sport that it no matters if you start when you're 30 or you start when you're 35 or 40. Because as the time goes through, then you will start playing better and better, because as more you learn the tactical point of view of the game, otherwise, can you tell me how Fernando Belasteguin, 41 years old, can still fighting for the #1?
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The first set wrapped up here, 6-4 in favour of Belasteguin and Gutierrez. They dropped serve, backed it up by breaking back immediately, confirmed it. And they have the job halfway done here in this men's final. Wow, Mari, what a first set of paddle that was. Couldn't have wished for any better, could we?
It couldn't, actually. It's 6-4. I think it's well deserved for Bella and Sanyo, who played, I think, a little bit more. They had the match under control, perhaps a little bit longer time than what Chingotto and Tello did. Tello and Chingotto, I think Tello, Juan, has to do what he's used to do, like pushing a little bit more. But because the ball, because the weather in Sweden perhaps is like a little bit more chilly and the ball doesn't go as quick as he would like to, you know, it's not easy for Tello to do his game. It's more for Belasteguin and Sanyo this court and for Chingotto than for Tello.
Well, plenty more of what we saw from the first set into the second set, please, from the quartet. I'm sure we will. And of course, we've got some wonderful crystal trophies that will be handed out, of course, to the players hereafter. There they are. Congratulations to everybody concerned, Everysport Media, for getting those crystal trophies made up for the players. That just adds a bit more of a professional touch here to this invitational event. It isn't, of course, on the tour, but it feels like it is on the World Paddle Tour. Such is the professionalism from everybody concerned here this weekend. And that's those two crystal trophies as well is a very nice touch.
Wow, such a great shot from Sanyo, the backward boast straight to Tello's backhand, low backhand volley. You have a look when Bella plays the shot off the backward, when he hits the ball very high, he opens the angle wherever he wants to do it. Look. Let's see if Tello. Well, nothing to do with that shot. I mean, if you have Sanyo, this as relaxed as he is at the moment and playing that with that confidence, perhaps playing with Bella for some people would be like so much pressure, and you cannot play your game 100% because Bella is Bella and whatever. But for Sanyo, it doesn't look in that way. It looks like he's very comfortable playing with.
Got to come through this test here, Chingotto. Drop serve twice in the first set. Very first game of the first set if you just tuned into our coverage. So game number 9 as well, 30-all. More encouragement here for Belasteguin and Gutierrez. Such a competitive nature. Out comes the emotion there from Gutierrez. That's exactly what it means. And they're knocking on the door here early, perhaps, for this first break.
Okay, that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. Even though let's say that Bella or Sanyo reached that ball, it doesn't matter because it would be a good unforced error. Tello needs that, perhaps to play a little bit better in the next coming balls. You know what I mean, Errol? That, you know, perhaps after, you see? This is what I mean. Like, once he does one smash, then perhaps because he's feeling that, is that the way of playing paddle? It's his way of playing paddle. So now it's 1-0. They got the first game. They were a little under pressure because it was a golden point.
So it's good to see that they make their way directly round to the next side of the court here, Chingotto and Tello, not taking on any liquids. Good service hold that for Chingotto to come through. Eager to get on with business, and that business is taking this second set. Like their body language, they kept the positivity despite the fact they are a set down, and that certainly is important here up against two established players out there today. 34 matches played last year for Belasteguin, 26 victories.
The match is now at the highest, as we saw today with the girls. In the second set, there was a moment where everyone was very focused, and I think now is this time. And these are the shots I was talking before about when they do the loss to Bella, and Bella hits the ball off the back wall. Very high shots off the back wall. He creates any angle. Any angle, you know, I don't know what it comes up in his head, in his brain. You know, he takes the decision perhaps a second before, and he says, okay, now down the line, now down the middle, now.
Currently world ranked 10, Chingotto and Tello as a pair. Where the improvements need to be made from those two, perhaps just to get themselves into the top 5, Mari?
Well, I think Tello and Chingotto I mean, they've improved since the last few years. They've been playing together for, this is the 6th season they play together, and like 5 seasons ago they were good, then 4 seasons ago they were doing better, then great, then amazing, and last year was, I think the last year they were the 2nd best pair in the world last year, even though the ranking doesn't say that. But this year, as I asked them yesterday in the interviews, like they will go for, I think the show is out, but they carry on. But they will try to fight for the number 1. The thing is, no way, how Bella did that shot. Oh, did you see that? No, this is absolutely different level from the boss, Fernando Belasteguin, and his reactions. Have a look at that. Have a look.
Well, that overhead, that smash from Juan Tello wins the point, perhaps against almost any other player in the world apart from Belasteguin.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, so what you said yesterday about why no penalties played in other courts like clay or hard courts or whatever, you know, is like what makes perhaps as well Belasteguin being always beating everyone, you know. I want to say that perhaps Tello, in this kind of court, he's not feeling 100% comfortable, so that's why he's struggling a little bit. And sometimes, let's say, when they play in Madrid, perhaps this match would be different. It would be much more winners from Tello and Chingotto, and now Sanyo and Bela look like they have a very control of the match, even though now Sanyo is doing an unforced error. But it looks like Bela and Sanyo are keeping more or less the control of the match, isn't it?
Certainly is. I mean, they're really keeping things watertight. Unforced errors at a minimum, really, from the far end of the court, really, and that's what makes them so good, despite the fact this is just their second match together. Their first was yesterday, which they came through fairly easily, actually. Really looks like they've been playing paddle together for such a long time, Gutierrez and Belasteguin.
Wow, very deep volley, not risk at all.
Went for it, didn't miss the line by much, did it? But it's those small margins so far between the pair that could just be the difference, perhaps.
But that's what Tello and Chingotto have to do to get a point, because Sanyo and Bela are feeling quite comfortable in this court and feeling quite comfortable.
Well, that's just the point, isn't it? It has to be the $1 million shot just to win a point against Belasteguin and Gutierrez.
The power of Tello is unbelievable.
Uses his height well and uses his strength very well.
When I see the muscles and all the, the power he prints to the ball, is amazing. And together with Chingotto is, I think, for me, is one of the best defenders in the world, together with Sanyo and LeBron as well, of course. Okay.
So, game point, taking it. And there it is. So, on serve here. Early doors here in the second set. It's still magnificent paddle, isn't it, Mari? Again, I know you're enjoying it. I can see it on your body language. Yeah. Highly impressed with what you've seen out there as well. So, just talk us through the legendary trainer that Belasteguin had behind him. And he's not here, of course, in Sweden. What does he bring to the table as a coach for a player as good as Belasteguin?
Well, I mean, you know that they used to be that before players have the same coach always. You know, there is always one coach on court. Bela's coach is around here, but he didn't want to sit with them as it would be unfair for Chingotto and Tello. I was talking today morning, Miguel Cirilli, at the hotel in the breakfast time. I was asking him if he's going to sit. He told me that for respect the opponent, he didn't feel that it was fair enough to sit with Bela and Sanyo. But what I wanted to tell you, Errol, was that before it used to be that the players have one coach, both of them. And nowadays it's like most of the pairs have two coaches, yeah, and both coaches agree in how they will follow the tactics, the strategy, and so, because players live in different cities. You know, so coaches have to talk about how they will build up the strategies for the whole year, or for the next season, or for the matches they will play, depending on the draw, which came up of the World Padel Tour. And so, yeah, the two coaches agree, and then one of them goes to the tournaments to coach them on court.
Seen a few loose volleys from Gutierrez today, not too many, but most of those have been on the forehand from him so far in this final.
Too clever, too clever. How Bela reads, how he knows where is going to be the next coming shot. You know, it's like he was there before Chingotto hit the ball. And that thing is like kind of the experience in this sport. And
40-15. Well, he goes to the line so often, does Belasteguin. He just reads the situation, just seems to be one step ahead with his thought process in these rallies at the moment.
Beautiful lob, very high. That makes the Belas bandeja to be a little bit weaker than as usually he does. Like that one, for example, a little bit better. Lobs from Tello and Chingotto are becoming a little bit better, but wow, Chingotto, amazing defense. He will get this. Ah, lucky. Very well played from Bella and Sanyo. Controlling and keeping complete relaxed during the whole point, I would say. Even though if Tello and Chingotto do a lobs or they play a hard shot or whatever, Bella and Sanyo look like they are like under control, or they feel that they are under control. That was out.
Love 15. Love 30.
Playing with fire once again here, Tello and Chingotto.
I think
Love
that Tello,
30.
sorry, I think that Tello in that shot of the back wall with the backhand, he ran the risk. That's what I call a wrong decision making. At some point, he was trying to, even though if that shot goes in, he knows that Sanyo will be there with his volleys. So perhaps when he's comfortable, as he was in that shot, he could have gone for this lob, for example. You know, for a lob when he's comfortable, the lobs can be much better. The point is that if he keeps doing the lobs to Bella's side, to Bella's forehand shots off the back wall, he will always get in trouble. So I would rather prefer perhaps to do chiquitas to Bella to reach the net position, or lobs to Sanyo when he's very comfortable.
But they're certainly in trouble now. Love 40, Chingotto on serve.
Such a
Well, if you like Star Wars, you'll certainly appreciate what we're seeing out there today from Fernando Belasteguin. He's almost like a Jedi Knight at one with his racket. His racket head control is unbelievable. Some wonderful stroke making in that rally. And finally, game number 5 in set number 2, they get the breakthrough, and that puts them in a position of strength in this match. If you're watching paddle for the first time this week at the ICANIWILL Invitational event, well, the two on the left-hand side of the graphic are unbelievable. And again, just have to reiterate, this is just only their second match as a doubles collaboration. But Belasteguin, well, he stepped up a notch or two from the levels that we saw from Saturday into this final here on Sunday, Mari.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think also that I always said that Bella is a team player, you know, he's a team maker, I would say. Every partner or every new project, every new collaboration, as you say, with a new partner, he creates a team. And that in paddle is crucial, it's very important. If you are a quite individual kind of player, that's the beautiful thing about the sport of paddle. That as better partner you are, you're a better paddle player. You know what I mean, Errol? I mean, if you're individual, like kind of individual player, like tennis players usually come to play paddle and they struggle a little bit because they see the partner doing an unforced error, or they make a mistake and they don't, let's say, kind of apologize to the partner, like, oh man, sorry about that, I will try to do better next one. Or if you see your partner making a mistake, you say, hey buddy, no worries, just go for it, it doesn't matter. So Bella is that kind of player that makes you play good. Then after the match, he will talk about all the rest. Okay, we did this right, this wrong, this is our weakness, this is our strength. But during the match, he will never regret to what he's doing, because he never says anything to the partner, and that makes the partner to play very comfortably.
Frustration there from Chingotto. Smashes his paddle there in anger. A breakdown as well as a set. Needing to break back, I think, if they are to get some traction now in this match.
Well, from the tactical point of view, I think that Bela is trying to play sometimes down the line, so to keep Chingotto on his side and don't let Chingotto to cover the middle, and so to make as well Tello to cover his side uncomfortably. I don't know if from from what I say people would understand, but the idea is that when Chingotto covers all his side, it's very hard to get a point from him. But if Bela plays down the line some of the shots, Chingotto will have to cover a lot more. He will have to move more to his side to cover more the siphons and the sidewall side. And Tello we have to cover a little bit more down the middle. And that's what Bela wants, so when Sanyo takes the net position, they can win more points easier. Thousands of people watching all around the world, Errol. This is complete a successful event from Palo Alto. I'm completely glad of being here, sharing all these comments to the whole world, actually.
Took the pace off the ball, beautifully disguised that was from Belasteguin. Extracted the unforced error there from Juan Tello. Another game on the board here for Belasteguin and Gutierrez. And with that confirmation of the break, it gives them breathing space. 2-game cushion now. Getting closer and closer, perhaps to winning now this men's final. So, Swedish paddle, as mentioned, is growing ever so quickly here in Sweden. And the Swedish World Paddle Tour, of course, already in full procession. A couple of events in Örebro and Nybro as well. And Jonas Bjorkman, the new national team captain, not here. Former ATP tennis player, of course, will oversee proceedings with regards to that. Andreas Johansson as well will join him on the coaching side. He'll be coaching the juniors, and Mari Anderson on the women's side as well. So things are ticking over beautifully in Sweden with regard to that. 3 excellent coaches they're going to have there, of course. And from what we saw yesterday as well, the Swedish players are improving very, very quickly as well. Windahl, Knutsson, Vasquez, all lost their matches, but went out on their shield, so to speak, and really played some good paddle throughout. And expect to see plenty of good things from those players on the Swedish Paddle Tour for the remainder of 2021. So normal service resumes there from the service line, and it's Juan Tello, very neat and tidy, holding to love. So still a break of serve the difference, a chance just to reboot and reset in the chair and discuss what needs to be done to break back and get themselves back on track now, Mari.
Yeah, well, the last game was Bela and Sanyo looked a little bit like no focus as they were a little before. I think it was when they got a break, they were 4-2 up in the score, and with the set up as well, so that perhaps made them to relax a little bit. But when you play against pairs like Tello and Chingotto, you don't have any minute to relax or to get unfocused, because they will come back and you never know what could happen in the next couple of games. So let's see who's going to win those trophies.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, we got the winners of the women's side, Paula, Josemaria and Sanchez. The 4 players look that they are ready for the World Padel Tour 2021. A complete brilliant that the sport of paddle is growing all over the world. I've seen this in all the countries I visit throughout the years. Last year I couldn't visit so many countries as the COVID situation, this pandemic, but hopefully soon the world will go back to normal and we're going to be all of us enjoying this sport together and be crowded as it is, you know, and all the people cheering from outside. And getting plenty of stadiums full of paddle lovers. What Sanyo is doing is so difficult. Just to defend from no man's land, is playing half volleys all the time. That ball was out, but just actually I thought it was seen at some point until then I saw just how the ball went up. You see, just slowly out, just lightly out. Chingotto playing at the back of the court, just waiting for Bella's or Sanyo's shot to be not that good, but it's very hard to find a gap. It's very hard to find a gap where to get a point from Bella and Sanyo at the moment. It's like
wow.
2 guns, you know, this is like a war.
15 all.
And I'm telling you, Tello and Chingotto are playing a very good match. Perhaps they didn't play that good level at the beginning of the match, and they were not as comfortable as I told you before. That Juan Tello perhaps is the player who is much more explosive, much more powerful kind of player, so he prefers to play on the surfaces or courts which are a little bit, you know, quicker.
Well, they certainly know that they can beat Belasteguin. They did so, let's not forget, at the Las Rosas Open in the quarterfinals. Okay, it was Belasteguin and Tapia as a doubles pairing, so they know they have to beat them. That was an excellent match, wasn't it? 3 very tight sets in that match.
It was an amazing match last year, and that was in Madrid. As I told you, in Madrid is like the height of the sea level is 800 meters, and you know, and they also played with the Head Pro balls, which are Head Pro S, which are a little bit faster than these ones. So for the kind of players, for the way of Sanyo and Bella play, when the ball is a little bit slower, for them is better. They feel much more comfortable. They like playing longer points. They can be playing the same point for a month if they want to, you know what I mean? Rather than Tello, Juan Tello, he wants to finish the point. He's the kind of player who he wants to do something to finish the point. And there he goes.
30-40.
It's 30-40 and 4-3 to Bella and Sanyo. If they get this game, there's going to be 5-3 to them. 1 game to go, and perhaps to get the trophy here in Sweden. The first tournament of the year, I would say, for them. Tello and Chingotto change sides. Let's see how they can sort this out. You see how they go back to the normal position where they are used to play, used to defend, used to attack, and that's how you become a different level player.
Beautiful volley in the end that was from Tello.
Yes.
Controlled it well. Well, certainly rewarding a towel down there as well. Tello throwing absolutely everything into this. So
So Tello and Chingotto might be happy now that they got a break, and now it's 4-all. Second set, a very tough moment for the 4 players. These kind of games are very important for the 2 pairs.
Late must be their favourite number here, Chingotto and Tello. They broke in game 8 in the first set, but the important thing was, after that break, they didn't confirm it. So that's the challenge for these 2 players now after that break. It's Chingotto, let's not forget, who's been broken 3 times so far in this match. Serving here once again.
That's what I call a quick lob. That's when Sanyo, when the ball is coming off the back wall, and Sanyo took the very quick decision that Chingotto didn't expect that. So that's why perhaps Chingotto missed that bandeja shot. The quick lob is, there are different kind of lobs, and that's very good sometimes to let people know that, all those players who are playing and competing around the world, that, there are different kind of lobs where sometimes people say, no, you have to do a lob to go forward and to reach the net position. But it depends, because if you're playing against a player whose bandeja is not that good, and the shots off the back wall, yes, are very good, like now Bella, so Tello would prefer to do lobs to Bella, to his bandeja, not to his... This situation exactly happens what I wanted to say to everyone. Like, if you do a very good lob, what it seems to be a very good lob, and the ball goes off the back wall, Bella will smash you with that shot. So better to do a lob where the ball might bounce more or less on the service line, let's say. So you have to calculate that, take advantage of the height, not of the deepness of the lob. So to make sure that your opponent doesn't kill you with a shot off the back wall.
So history repeats itself once again here for Chingotto. They get the break, broken again, Chingotto, in game number 9, just as it was in the first set. So back in command of the scoreboard yet again. It is Belasteguin and Gutierrez, a game away here from winning the bragging rights as well as the crystal trophies inside the Scandinavia Expo. Oh, deep breath. That's the commitment levels from all 4 players out there today. Good energy levels, good commitment from both, but you can just see there the despondent figure there of Federico Chingotto, who 4 times now has dropped his serve in this match. He's going to have to lift their spirits up again if they can and try and get that break to remain in this match, but that's no easy task if it is Belasteguin who's going to be the one player to serve this one out. So just to give you an indication of just how well things are growing here in Sweden, the popularity of paddle just continues to go on from strength to strength, and of course just cannot wait for November's Swedish Paddle Open, business end of the tournament in November, of course, in Malmö, the spectacular Malmö Arena. Of course, tickets already on sale. The response has been absolutely amazing. In fact, 6,000 tickets have been sold out in just a couple of days. The organisers were hoping for only a couple of 1,000. So imagine how thrilled and overwhelmed they were to see triple that amount already has been sold out. So we are hiring for people, of course, at paddelalto.com. For more information, get yourself onto the website, paddelalto.com. Media people required, both in Spanish speaking, English speaking as well. So get on it if you're available, looking for a job. You certainly will not regret it. So serving here for the match, it is the maestro, Fernando Belasteguin here, himself and his partner, a set and a break-up.
15 love.
Pum and pum. Bella wants to finish this as soon as he can. They got a break when they were 4-all, and now then it was 40 love within, I don't know, a minute. They broke again, and now it's 5-4 up. They don't want to get another break. That's why 30 love and 2 points away
30 love.
from getting the trophy here in Sweden. Padel Alto, I'm complete glad to be here sharing this commentary with Mr. Errol. Man, it's been complete pleasure the whole weekend being here next to you. Wow, Tello.
Wow.
Look what they have to do.
Plenty
to
of frustration and aggression there from Tello. He even made sure that wasn't going to come back, that shot.
Tello as well is laughing like, oh, man, come on. What do we have to do then to get a point from you both? Tello in Madrid, in that shot, will go for a winner straight away because he knows he wins with that shot, with that winning smash. No, it hit his non-playing shoulder.
Just couldn't adjust his body quickly enough there, Juan Tello. And with that, another beautiful rally there from Belasteguin and Gutierrez, and that brings up 2 match points. Not going down without a fight here, Chingotto and Tello.
It's match point, yeah? Match point for Bella and Sanyo, who've played a very good match, as well as Tello and Chingotto, but perhaps they couldn't find it at the moment, the right moment to win more points at the moment.
So there it is, sails out, a straight sets victory here today for Fernando Belasteguin and his new partner Sanyo Gutierrez. Both times they were broken, they broke back with immediate effect, and they take the bragging rights here versus Chingotto and Tello. What a highly entertaining men's final it was here today. And they go into Madrid, starting on the 5th of April, full of verve and vigour and confidence that they can cause some damage limitation in that tournament, make some noise, and go ahead and win their first tournaments of 2021 on the World Padel Tour. So hats off and congratulations to them for that. Chingotto and Tello played their part in the match, but you have to factor in that both times that they got the service break, they couldn't confirm it, and that's where you have to say they fell on their sword in the end. Chingotto broken 4 times in total in this contest, and that is something that perhaps when he gets himself back on the flight home that he will contemplate as well. So there he is on his phone already there, Tello, talking to somebody, just going over the match facts and figures, and the trophies are about to be handed out, of course, now to the victorious Fernando Belasteguin and Sanyo Gutierrez. So well done to Padel Alto, Everysport Media, Cloven Padel as well, for getting this tournament up and underway here. This I Will Invitational inside the Scandinavia Expo. Dignitaries coming down onto the court as well, and just to get players such as Belasteguin to sign up on the dotted line to play here as well. Gutierrez on the women's side, be it Gonzalez, Lucia, Sainz, Sanchez and Josemaria as well. Just shows you just how much paddle is progression in Sweden, of course. So on the women's side, we saw early before the men's final, it was Sanchez and Josemaria that came through. 6-2, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 for the men as well. So we've seen the trophies that have been handed out to the winners. Stick around for the interviews from all 4 players, and that will be conducted by Mari Andrini as well before we wrap up for business here. Highly enjoyable couple of days for sure inside the Scandinavian Expo. So stick around for those interviews to hear what the players will say in Spanish and in English, of course, before we sign off here for business.
here with the winner. It's been magnificent to watch them playing during the whole weekend. So I would like to start with Sanyo. I will ask him the question in Spanish and then in English. I would like to ask him what does he feel, what does he think about why did they win this match against Tello and Chingotto, who play actually, who are very high level players who are now fighting for the #1 in the world, and why they are just starting to play together, and what does he think about the match that we just seen? Bueno, Sancho, la pregunta es, ¿qué es lo que crees vos que pasó? ¿Por qué llevaron el partido como lo llevaron en todo momento? ¿Qué fue lo que les hizo ganar este partido?
Bueno, yo creo que no tengo la sensación de haberlo dominado todo el tiempo. Sí es verdad que en los 2 sets nos fuimos adelante rápido, pero después ellos recuperaron el break, creo que en el mismo momento, en el 4-3 del primero y en el 4-3 del segundo. Creo que la clave estuvo en que en los momentos importantes nos ordenamos, salimos con un plan y lo mantuvimos desde el principio hasta el final del juego. Creo que fueron los 2 juegos clave del partido, fueron los 2 4-4, lo planteamos muy bien tácticamente, jugamos sin fallos. Y bueno, un poco ponerse a prueba del primer partido. Creo que nos tocó una pareja que va a pelear por todo este año y era un desafío bonito para nosotros porque era nuestro primer partido en competición.
Well, Sanyo thinks that he didn't really feel that they got the control during the whole match. He thinks that actually they had a plan and that they followed that plan, and they were a little bit better at some point when they have to really focus at that moment when they were 4-4 in the second set, perhaps when they got the break and then they broke back. And well, that's more or less the resume of what he thinks about why they finished the winners of this match. And the second question I would like to ask him, if perhaps, because we know that Tello is a kind of very explosive player, if this match would be perhaps in another city, like in Spain, with a different weather, if he thinks that the match would be a little bit different and perhaps would be a 3-set match, or what he thinks about this. La segunda pregunta cortita es si crees que quizás con un jugador tan explosivo como Juan Tello, quizás en otro lugar, por ejemplo como Madrid, el partido podría haber sido diferente también, en el sentido de que quizás al ser tan explosivos podrían haber tomado quizás otra iniciativa ellos, que la cancha al haber sido un poquito más lenta sirve para el juego vuestro, que son tan buenos defendiendo también.
No considero que esta pista sea lenta, al contrario, tal vez en la televisión se percibe otra cosa, pero es rapidísima la pista, no es el césped mundo, entonces todo se acelera y sale muchísimo, la pelota es súper liviana aquí, fue lo primero que me sorprendió cuando llegué. Yo pensé que con el clima afuera al entrenar íbamos a tener un juego más lento. Yo creo que es una de las pistas rápidas, muy parecido a lo que podemos encontrar en Madrid, por ejemplo.
Well, Sanchez says that he actually thinks that the speed of the ball actually is very high. That might be like perhaps so. He thinks that the tactical point of view was much better than what perhaps Tello and Chingotto did, and that's why perhaps he thinks that it was the same thing that if they were playing as well in Madrid. So, gracias, Sanchito and Bella. So I now want to ask you. First, I want to do a little definition of the sport of paddle, and perhaps you're not going to like it, but I would like to make a definition of the sport of paddle, which is a beautiful racket sport where Bella always wins. That's kind of thing I want to say. Not that you don't like that kind of stuff, but that's kind of true. I mean, it looked like you were smiling, both of you, like enjoying the whole match. And actually, you were playing a match against very top players. The players to beat this year are perhaps you, Ale Galan and LeBron, Paquito and Dineno. These 2 players are the top players. And you were like relaxed the whole time. That makes you be more focused during the match. La pregunta es que se los vio como sonrientes, tranquilos, en todo momento. ¿Eso les ayuda a estar enfocados en el partido? ¿No tener que estar serios? Esa es la pregunta.
Quizás, no, quizás, yo creo que por la edad que tenemos los dos y con la carrera que hemos hecho, nos hemos dado cuenta que hay que disfrutar adentro de la cancha. Sí es verdad que hoy estábamos en una exhibición, pero particularmente yo durante el torneo tengo que jugar desde el primero hasta el último punto con la misma velocidad, la misma intensidad, porque mi juego necesita estar muy concentrado y ser bastante intenso. no sé si voy a sonreír mucho en los torneos. No suelo sonreír mucho en los torneos, pero la verdad que estoy disfrutando mucho al lado de Sanyo, muy contento de la solidez de nuestro juego y yo voy teniendo cada vez más claro qué es lo que tengo que hacer para que nuestra pareja sea cada vez más competitiva.
Well, he was like feeling like they were like perhaps very confident on court, and it's like he says that because they are very adults already. He's 41 years old and Sanyo is 36 years old. It's like they've been already at the top of the tops, the number one for many years, and it's like, okay, they are now understanding that, you know, enjoying the game is like much better than being focused and serious all the time that perhaps we can see in younger players in the World Padel Tour. So, Bela, would you like to say something to the rest of the world?
Sí, quiero mandarle un saludo muy grande a toda la gente de Argentina que seguramente nos estará mirando. Tenía muchos amigos que querían vernos competir con Sanyo, así que un saludo muy grande a toda la gente de Argentina y no me quiero ir de Suecia sin agradecer el respeto y la educación con la que nos tratan cada vez que venimos, y la verdad que es una sociedad de la cual me gusta aprender un montón de cosas, y sobre todo es la educación y el respeto que se tienen entre ellos mismos y con todos los que venimos de fuera.
Well, Bela, I just want to say hello to all those Spaniards and Argentinians who are also watching the World Padel Tour, these World Padel Tour players in this event, and that they were also on the streaming online, just texting and sending some messages. I was also saying hello in Spanish language so that everyone can understand, and that he also wants to say thank you to all the Swedish people and the Swedish organization from Padel Alto as well, that they have done a great job on how they treat the players and how they treat each other, the education behind every Swedish person, and they are very glad to be here sharing all this time together. Muchas gracias a todos también por haber estado ahí, y desde aquí le mandamos saludos a toda Argentina, a toda España también. Thank you for being there, and I hope to see you very soon in the next event from Padel Alto.
So humble, so dedicated, so talented. The pairing of Fernando Belasteguin, of course, and Sanyo Gutierrez. Interview there conducted, of course, by Mari. No ranking points as mentioned and no prize money on the table, but just as professional as ever. Just a second match together as a pair in Belasteguin and Gutierrez, and they played as though their lives depended on it. That's what sets him apart from so many players on the tour, actually. Belasteguin, 41 years of age. I'm sure he won't, like me, keep mentioning his age, but I have to say, it's just his fit and his determination and his commitment is just as high as what it was when he burst onto the tour all of those years ago. So just waiting for Mari to get himself back into the commentary position to just summarise what we've seen today. If you've just tuned in, of course, ladies final was first. We saw Ari Sanchez and Paula Josemaria come through 6-2, 6-4 versus Gonzalez and Lucia Sainz, the all-Spanish affair. And on the men's side, it was an all-Argentinian affair. And of course, we just know that Belasteguin and Gutierrez came through that match as well. So, welcome back, Mari. Some good words and some nice humble words there from Belasteguin. He's such a humble man, and that's what sets him apart from so many players, isn't it? Just
yes, 100%, 100%. He's like, you know, as well as I'm from Argentina and I've been playing paddle since I was very, very young. I know these players very well, and for me it's a massive pleasure, you know, to see them playing and to do commentary here with you. Even though, you know, I'm not English and I try, you know, I'm a coach, I'm not a commentator, but you know, being with you, that you are professional, and you know, everyone could tell that you are very professional in what you're doing, and I'm glad to be part of this project with you together.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you alongside me, guiding us through all things paddle. Everyone that's viewed these matches over the last couple of days would have been absolutely 100% educated on just about everything you said yesterday and today as well. So just summarise very quickly what we saw in the ladies' final. What was the difference between Sanchez and Josemaria, Gonzalez and Sainz? Why did they win that match in straight set? Just quickly.
Well, there was something that makes a difference, was that Paula Josemaria was, as we said today, as she's a lefty and she's very powerful, you know, player, explosive. and she was playing like 85% of what she does, so which is a very good high level. And Ari Sanchez finished, as number 2 player in the world. She's a very high level player, and she was very steady during the whole match. Some unforced errors from Bea Gonzalez didn't allow the right side player Lucia Sainz to be able to change the direction of the game, and that's why it was 6-4, 6-2 to the winners.
And with regards to the men, unfortunately for Chingotto and Tello, once they got those breaks to serve in the first and the second set, the downfall really was not confirming those breaks, and you have to do that against players of the caliber of Belasteguin and Gutierrez, really.
Yeah, actually I think it was that. Actually, one of the questions was that I said to Sanyo that I thought that it wouldn't be, that the court wasn't as quick as it would be perhaps in Madrid. But Sanyo actually said that he felt that the court was very fast as well, and because they changed the balls during 9th and 11th games, he thought that. Well, I mean, for the question, for the answer he gave me, I thought that he told me that, okay, we played tactically perfect to win this match. It wasn't because the court is faster or slower. It's just because we didn't play so many lobs to Tello. We played such more lobs and good lobs to Chingotto, and we closed the angles very well to win this match comfortably.
So, as it was in the women, as it was in the men, a straight sets win. 6-2, 6-4 for Sanchez and Josemaria, 6-4, 6-4 for Belasteguin and Gutierrez. It's been an absolute pleasure to sit alongside Mari Andrini for 6 matches yesterday and the 2 finals here today as well. Really have hope you've enjoyed our coverage, ladies and gentlemen, and all that remains to be said really is many, many thanks to Padel Alto, Everysport Media, for getting this ICANIWILL invitational event up and underway inside the Scandinavian Expo. Just about everything here has been of the highest order. Really no complaints. Every box has been ticked, and long may that continue with regards to all things paddle in Sweden. And of course we look forward to seeing the players here for the remainder of the season on the World Paddle Tour 2021 season as well. So once again, Mari, thank you very much. Myself, Errol Creary, alongside Mari Andrini. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye for now, and really do look forward to seeing you viewing us once again on Padel Alto for the remainder of the tour for 2021. Goodbye for now.
Thank you. Gracias. Tak.